Hey, good morning, everybody. Goose, Larry, Jason, Arturo, Rongamer. Good to see you, Rongamer. Hope you're feeling better. Alan, David, Don, Donald, Don and Donald. Usually we have Mike and Michael, but today we have Don and Donald. Craig, welcome, everybody. If you want to chat with me like these fine folks, all you got to do, be a subscriber. Hit the link right over here where the monster can is. Well, can't see the monster can because it's green on the green screen. That's a green apple. Anyway, so glad you here. You like the green apple? Just wondering. Hey, everybody. Sven, morning. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. That's not a southern East Tennessee name right there, but I'm sorry if I mess it all up. Anyway, glad to have everybody. And if you're watching after I'm no longer live, all you got to do, leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to answer you. And if you want to chat with me otherwise, it's like $5, come join Discord. Of course, buying stuff from gurus. Be careful out there. Most of us are full of crap. I may be full of crap, in fact. I tend to get things right, but just be careful out there. Trust in people. Make sure they get stuff right. Back to normal. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. All right, let's, well, didn't even put the disclaimer up. I was goofy. There we go. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. You can lose at this game. You can lose a lot. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here, intended to be informational, educational, and fun. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. All right. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary duty to take care of you. And yeah. So we're going to talk about trades. We're going to talk about stuff. The word of the day, contango. What the devil does contango mean? Contango. Maybe you've heard of that. Futures market has contango and backwardation. And in rare instances, neither. But almost always contango and backwardation. We're seeing crazy record high contango on this futures rollover. You'd be like, JT, what the blank are you talking about? Let's jump into this right here. And pull it out. And this thing's all goofy. Got goofy on me. Oh, I need to take it out of log scale. There we go. Check it out. Look at this. This contango right here. Last time, almost 50 points. This time, ridiculous. Ridiculous contango. Now, we have to wait till the actual market opens to see it. It's probably, right there was Friday, right here today. This green candle will probably change to something else, but we're seeing like $60 into contango. What does that even mean? That means that the front month contract, the contract we're rolling to in the futures, has a price difference to the current expiring contract of like $60 on this one. Contango means that the front month contract is more expensive than the current contract. So we're seeing that right now. I'm just comparing it against S&P 500 instead of the current contract, because as this comes to expiration day, futures contracts expire. On ES, that's 4 times a year in general. That's March, June, September, December. Those are the 4 main contracts we trade. And historically, we don't even see much discrepancy at all. Sometimes we get backwardation where we drop. Right? If the front month contract is lower, that usually is indicative that the market in the future is going to be lower than currently, or at least market participants in the futures expect price to go lower. Right now, we're seeing a record high contango, which indicates to me that people holding December futures contracts are expecting one heck of a bullish move. One heck of a bullish move. So, this may be indicating, look, all the way right back here, a year ago. Let's go back to September. We started seeing contango in the market when we rolled over in September. That front month contract was more, and that put a bullish stint on the market. We didn't see that. We saw backwardation really through 2022, right until that September rollover. Then we saw contango. Now, then we saw growing contango in December when we rolled over to March. Saw growing contango, and massive growth in contango. Yeah. That looks like we're probably going to a new all-time high, just based on that little weird fact in the futures. I hadn't really this isn't really something I've paid attention to in the past, but I was diving through explaining something on one of my weekend update videos, and I was like, holy beep! Look at this. The futures market is telling us we're probably going higher, and it's interesting, right? Let me know if you think this is interesting. If you don't, if you think this is too stupid and nerdy, just let me know. I'll move on. But this is one of those things I hadn't really thought to look at. And so you get futures contracts. They do expire at a certain date and a certain time with a certain delivery. ES delivers in cash, and they expire 4 times a year. So, another one I was looking at, though, look at this one. Maybe you think this is interesting, maybe not. Let's just do it like this, and looky here. There was almost no contango on Bitcoin. The futures are not expecting much to happen on Bitcoin. Now, we got some crazy volatility back here, but currently no contango, no backwardation, so to speak. I thought that was interesting too, and maybe you understand where I was pulling this up from. So if you didn't know, in TradingView you can just do math on the tickers. You can do math between the tickers. You can divide stuff. You can divide, subtract, add, multiply, go to the exponential, or whatever I forget what you call it. Make it the divisor, and you can do all that math right there. Create your own index. Do kind of weird subtractions between things, and it's a pretty cool little feature that I've never seen in any other platform that I use. Maybe that's common in some other platforms, but nothing I've messed with. So I thought that was interesting. So where's the language tutorial? What kind of language tutorial? Like Investopedia? You go to Investopedia. Let's just pop up a new doodad over here. Investopedia. Contango and backwardation right there. Right there's the definition. Contango is when the futures price is above the expected future spot price. A contango is often confused with a normal futures curve, because that's we typically see that higher prices in the future. I mean, the stock market goes up 8% a year. That's the normal condition. Now, occasionally we see backwardation. VIX is notorious for a backwardation, especially in a high. When we have an elevated VIX, we'll see backwardation, and that's why SVXY tends to always go up. So, alrighty, there you go. So, if you want to know about more about trading terms, Investopedia is pretty good at it, and they've got some fancy charts and junk like that. So. Yeah, nice ad for a local bank. All right, moving on. Let's talk about what's actually happening today. There was a record, I think a record deal in the food industry, hitting the hot sheets this morning. Smucker's buying Hostess, and apparently stockholders of Smucker's don't think that's a great idea to spend $5.6 billion on Hostess. Getting hit a little bit, down almost 8% in the pre-market, and Hostess, heck yeah, dude, Twinkies going up. So Twink getting bought out by Smucker's. Pretty crazy deal. Looks like good for Twink, and upside, I wouldn't buy this. The deal is $30 plus some 0.00 whatever of a share of Smuckers. That's not a whole lot of upside. That's only $2 out of 28. Oh, 33. Yeah, it's actually trading above the price. Excuse me. That's ridiculous. The buyout price is 30. So looks like they think it's a done deal. That news, yeah, right there. Oh, 34 share. I guess because of the shares of the shares you get. So it's like 30 plus a piece of a share. So I guess that puts it at 34 a share for Hostess, for Twinkie. So yeah, 5.6 billion. And it includes the 900 million of debt. So interesting deal. Just never know what they're going to do. We were talking about Smuckers just the other day. And that's a bearish pattern. Could be attempting to find a bottom here. Look at the bigger pattern. That was the extension higher. Right out to the 1618. Now we're doing a retrace. Where might we find the bottom? Oh, down to 76. This may come back down to 120. Found support right around that 120 level a few times. Then not so distant past, we get below that, we're probably going on a bigger diversion down. So, and that whole big move up started back here, ran up to here. Look, probably find support right there. If we find support there around 120, turn back higher, get back above the roadmap line on the daily, that thing can go substantially higher. But right now, probably doing that. Yeah, they can make some jelly-filled Twinkies. Imagine that. Imagine like a jelly swirl. Or Smuckers is really focused on those PB Jammers. They're like crustless, Uncrustables, whatever. They got different names, I guess, depending on who's knocking them off. I guess their Uncrustables is the brand that Smuckers runs. And imagine they took that peanut butter jelly filling and put it in a Twinkie. Last you, and then it stays good for like 30 years. I'm sure that's great for you. Super healthy, right? All right. Market opens about 2 minutes, and I still am super cautious. Super cautious on this. Golly, stupid alerts. Super cautious on this deal right here. We are set up to go lower, but if we hold this little box right here and we break out above this box, we're probably going higher. That level, probably around 45.20, is kind of the indication that we're probably going on up higher at this point. So yeah, pumpkin spice. Ugh. Pumpkin spice anything is gross to me. I'm not a pumpkin spice anything. Nothing at all. So all right. ES, getting a little bid today. ES looking pretty sparky. The S5FI, stocks about the 50-day moving average on the S&P, came right back down in the reversal zone. We may see this rocket back out of here. So the ES may very well thread the needle. I was talking about this Friday that if we bounce from that 618 level, which we came down right to it, right darn near to it, we started bouncing, and maybe that's Thursday. I don't even, my days are all running together. I guess it was Thursday. Got a bullish day Friday on the rollover, potentially bullish today, leaving that gap, and we may be setting up for a run at the all-time high. Pretty interesting. NQ got a outsized contango move also, and pushing higher. That one, despite the contract rollover, looking like it's going to push higher. That one very close to moving on to a new high. You know, contango discounted, of course, but we could see a move up, and then that sets up NASDAQ to go up to 16.4. Pretty nice. Russell holding support so far. This is still not a bullish looking chart, and this may be, I don't know. I could make the case for a little baby sloppy head and shoulders, and then we could see a spike down, which would get the target. If you kind of went like this, it's going to be really sloppy, not very clean. We could potentially see something that spiked down on Russell. It would put us right in that target zone, see? That's something to keep an eye on right there. Oil looks like it's going for the target. 89, 94 above that. Yeah, could stop at 92, 93. I mean, entirely possible we come up short of that prior high. But 94 is kind of a target zone. I don't know. I'm debating whether I should jump off at 90 or just ride it on up. Attempt to ride it on up. I do kind of feel like we might get a reaction at this 89 to 90 area and take us back down to retest this breakout level down here. So we could very well see this and see some increased volatility in the oil market. Although OVX volatility, oil volatility, showing a huge kind of drop out. So there's very low volatility in the oil market compared to historical. So OVX, you're unfamiliar, you want VIX for oil right there, OVX. So showing a nice drop. All right. Yeah, well, Thursday kind of, like, I was concerned we were going to drop out, and then we didn't get continuation after the market actually opened. We kind of saved it, and then we're getting a little rally a little bit. It may thread the needle, that lower probability chance that we see higher prices. So gold right here, potentially holding the roadmap line. That's lower high. We need, and higher low. We need something breaking out of this. Otherwise, that's kind of like a watermelon seed squeeze. Bitcoin just consolidating at the lows. October 14th is the next decision point on the spot ETFs, and we may just kind of fart around and go sideways till then. May just kind of mess around out here till mid-October, and they don't even have to make a decision then. They can punt it till January, but January is the drop dead. Like, they have to make a decision to either deny or accept. And a lot of speculation that they may take all 10. They have 10 applications for spot ETFs. They may take all 10 and just approve them at once, unless there's a problem in one of them. But they're all written very similarly. So they may just approve them all at once, so there's no first mover advantage. So they don't get blamed of some kind of first mover advantage in the market. I mean, their whole job is supposedly to keep this all even, Steven, keeps all on an equal playing field. But I mean, who knows what actually happens? And interestingly enough, last Wednesday, ARK submitted the first spot ETF for Ethereum. It is pushing lower. I could see Ethereum dipping on down here. I didn't see any news really last week about spot ETF on Ethereum, but that was thrown out there, the first application. So DXY, maybe we roll over here. We'll see. Still thinking this is a likely target, but we could break back down. We break back below the roadmap line, and that increases the odds for going back down. We only came up to like a 382, I think. And right at the 382, turned down. So it's kind of interesting that it's just being sloppy. We already talked about smokers. Tesla, nice pop on Hypium. And there's my alerts on Tesla hitting. Big mover alert today, 5%. So we're seeing Tesla popping. If it can break out above that 270, it sets us on the path to 350. I saw some price revisions for targets over the weekend, 400. I mean, it's entirely possible. It's right there, 411 on the measured bounce type setup. So we get that. It does work. It jives with my kind of numbers. A long time ago, before we did splits and splits, I had a $1,500 price target, especially before the last triple 3-for-1 split. So we might go tag that finally. Took a little diversion, big retrace in between, but still possible. BGNE. This looks like pharmaceutical, sideways, choppy garbage. Be careful. Let's see. Another pharmaceutical. These things just get... I need to turn off something here. Ah! Freaking hit cancel. There we go. Get those little green arrows off there. Another pharmaceutical. Dangerous. AVGO. Probably get a retrace. Qualcomm got a deal with Apple for the next 3 years producing chips. Looks like they pulled them up off the bottom, but that's still kind of a bearish, choppy mess, hot mess. FNGU potentially going to break out. Looks like it did a little bitty mini Head and Shoulders reversal that could pop up. Take us to 250 on FNGU. Be careful. Leveraged stuff is highly dangerous. It cuts both ways, but that is a little bitty mini Head and Shoulders, and right there would be the target, all the way up there, above 250, almost 260. So Nvidia, be careful. CEO sold like a ridiculous amount of shares, like $42 million worth of shares or something. Historically, every time he sells shares, so well, be careful on that one. I can't say it enough. I'm not touching the hot stove until we resolve a correction here, at least to the roadmap line, and we could go a much bigger, deeper correction. Right there, it could be all the way down there, 258 could be where we head. Now, if we do get to 258, it's time to potentially load up, because much higher prices could be much higher prices could be in the works on that one. QCOM, we already briefly touched on that. SMCI, be careful for the next leg down, especially if VFS. I told you it's going back to 15. Oh, look at that. Sometimes I get lucky. I did not trade that, but right there, went all the way right back down to 15, right back to the roadmap line. Well, look at that. Ain't that a thing? Probably couldn't afford. I bet you couldn't even afford puts on that thing, or afford to short shares. That was a beautiful move, though. All right, Twinkie, giant pop on the buyout news. It's probably just going to fart around and slowly drift up to 34 as the deal gets sealed. Of course, there'll be like FTC and blah 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 and regulatory reviews and anti-competitive whatever, but that deal's probably going to get done. I'm willing to bet. Meta, we could go for a breakout, but I would feel better if we got the full retrace back to the roadmap line. I'm not chasing anything on Meta. I think I have a 306. I think I took one share for a 306 target. Looks like that may hit. That was just based on my VVD, Victor Delta indicator, volume velocity delta. The indicator I've been working on. Baidu, just choppy sideways. MDGL, pharmaceutical, choppy sideways to bearish. I mean, it is breaking below the roadmap line, coming up. If we start pushing down, this could return back to the 72 area right there. Another pharmaceutical. Must be a lot of drug news coming out this morning. RTX. Oh, baby. That one looks like it's going down. So we never did that. Never broke out through resistance. Where would the support be? Got support here and then down at 72. And then if that was the whole big move up, and that was it, we could come down to 66. We got support here and support here. And defense, they'll probably, once we start writing giant contracts to replace all the weapons that we've blown in your Ukraine, probably RTX and LMT and all those defense contractors probably going to get big ups over time. But we got to write the contracts and we got to get support for replacing weapons. AstraZeneca, looks like we got support down here and maybe heading toward that. Right there. All right, that's the list for the day. That's it. That's all I brought. So, yeah, Tesla. Got to get through that zone, that downtrend and that resistance. It's a nice pop, 5%. We'll see what happens there. I'm long TSLL still via options. I sold the shares. Got spooked out on Thursday and didn't reload them. That was a lower risk account. I may add it back up here. So that's the deal. That's the deal. Bias for the day. Cautiously, optimistically bullish, maybe. Cautiously. This is looking like we can break out those levels I keep talking about. We got to get through on S&P 500. We got to get through that 45.20 area. All right, ES being a little crazy, you kind of have to look at this one. We got to get above 45 and 45.30. Really, we need to be above that prior high right there at 45.50. That's ESU 2023. This is the one expiring this week without the contango. This one has the contango and trying to break out higher. NQ trying to break out higher. We may just rock it out. So there you go. You want to chat with me the rest of the day? I'll be in Discord. And have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow. Remember, I got 30 minutes of awesome tomorrow, 30 MA, where I'll take your request for 30 minutes at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you in the morning. I'll do the same thing. Same bat channel, same bat time.